Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I am going to discuss with you the book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. So this is what the book looks like, and this book is pretty tiny. It's not very big, and you can see it's not even very thick, but I must tell you that the font size of this book is very small. You can see, so the font size is pretty small, so there's enough content in this book. It's not like it's just there's no content or anything. It's small, but there is enough content, and most importantly that this book, the content that there is in this book is very important and significant. That is what makes it more imperative for you to read this book, and that is why I chose this book to discuss today. Also, the printed price is rupees 299, but I bought this from online, so I got some discount in it, so you can go and search online for this book. I am definitely sure that you will get some discount as well. So if you're someone who is going through an existential crisis, and if you are someone who is really depressed, or if you are someone who is right now in this fix that what is life all about, you cannot see what is the point of life or what is the point of living at all. You do not understand if anything at all makes sense. Everything is a burden for you. Existence has become a burden for you, and you do not see hope. Everything is all about despair and sadness. I think you are the one who really needs to read this book. This book is not just a novel. In fact, it is not a novel. It's written here, the classic tribute to hope from the Holocaust. Now, you all know about Holocaust and how many people died in there. It's not about the people who died there. It's about the people who survived the torture, the constant torture in the concentration camps. And this book is about that. This book is about survival. This book is about finding hope when there is nothing in front of you that seems hopeful. This book is about finding the purpose even when you really want to die. And so if you're someone who needs hope, if you're someone who is craving to find some meaning in his life, then I guess this is for you. Viktor E. Frankl was the professor of neurology and psychiatry in Vienna, in the University of Vienna, and so he had some knowledge of psychology, and this also helped him a lot later on in the concentration camp when he came across different people. So he wrote this book, and he wrote this book in 9 consecutive days, which is pretty fantastic. And originally he wanted to, when he wrote this book in German, he wanted his book to be written anonymously. He did not want his name to come out in front of people, but later on he was convinced that his name was important for people to know. It was important for him to come out and accept his experiences. So this book completely is his own experience, we can say his own autobiography, not entirely, but the years that he spent at the concentration camps. And through this book he tries to tell you about all the kind of tortures that was laid upon them. He not only talks about himself, in fact the very little time he spends in this book writing and talking about himself and his feelings, it's mostly about the other people who were there in the concentration camp, the security in charges, the Nazis who tortured them, the Nazis who whipped them when they couldn't work properly. He also wrote in this novel about the little amount of food that was given to them and the huge amount of work that they had to do. And he wrote it properly, that how they were treated like slaves, in fact worse than that. He also mentioned in the book how he got the opportunity to leave Vienna when the World War was about to begin, and was in a dilemma what to do and what not to do, whether to stay back or to go away. So he writes it in here in the preface that how he found a marble that his father had kept on the table in their home, and he asked him about the marble. So his father told him that he had found it on the site where the National Socialists had burned down the largest Viennese synagogue, and he had taken the piece home because it was a part of the tablet on which the 10 commandments were inscribed. one gilded Hebrew letter was engraved on the piece. So he asked him which one was it, and his father told him that it was written, "Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land." And this thing helped Victor to take the decision that he would stay back with his parents, with his mother and his father, and he will stay back here and he will not go anywhere. So he stayed back, and as the result, he was taken to the concentration camp, and he had to go there and put up with the tortures by the Nazi government and the Nazis. Now, there are a lot of things that are boiled down in this book properly. It says how there were people who were so weak because they wouldn't get food and they had to work so much out there. And at the end of the day, if the Nazi government, if they would find someone who would not be able to work properly, who would be too weak to work, they would gas them as soon as possible. So there were a lot of people in the concentration camps who wanted to die and who wanted to be gassed after a certain point of time. Initially, getting gassed was something that terrified people, and that had become something that people was really petrified about, and they would work harder so they wouldn't be gassed. But after a certain point, when they had seen the worst, that when they had seen how things could really get worse with life, they wanted death instead. But there were people like like Victor, who wanted to find their purpose, and he makes it clear in the book that he is someone who has always been more optimistic in life, and he has always been someone who would also motivate others to think positively. And so he makes it clear that if you have the will to live, you will be surviving everything. And his wife was taken to another place, in another concentration camp where only women were there. He wouldn't be able to see his wife, and he at days he would want to imagine her, and he knew that maybe his wife might have already died, but it did not matter him anymore. What mattered him was that he could imagine her, that in his thoughts his wife was still alive, and he did not wanted to know if his wife was alive or not. So there are a lot of things that are in this book that will help you through your existential crisis, that will also help you to understand the meaning of life. Of course, I cannot tell you that this book will make the changes all of a sudden in one go, but if you are searching for answers, if you need answers, this book will give you so many answers. And there's one book that you should definitely read, and it is also written over here that 12 million copies has been already sold of this book. This book is that amazing. So this is going to give you so many answers. And also there are a few things that are being discussed later on. There are different topics that he has covered, like the collective neurosis and logotherapy as a technique. There are different therapy, the super meaning, life's transitoriness, and a logodrama, the meaning of suffering, the meaning of love, the essence of existence, the meaning of life, the existential vacuum, the neodynamics, existential frustration, negogenic neurosis, the will to meaning, and a lot more things are discussed in the book. So this book is worth to read, and you should definitely read this book if you want to find the meaning of life as well. So if you like this video, then you should like my video, like click on the like button. And if you want to see me talk about different more books, then do subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and the bell button beside it, so you are notified every time I post a new video on YouTube. So till the next time, goodbye.